Growing up in a country shattered by war, hospital was always a scary place. A lot of fear, a lot of anxiety going in. The care that we were given was not the best. And even as a child, I knew that. My first experience with Peace Arch was actually as I was pregnant with my son, and it was coming to the maternity ward.
When my son was born, I was in my late 20s. And with the first kid being born, there is nothing I have control over. There was very little that was calm for me. And, we had complications with the birth for our first son. It was really scary. You're helpless. You're absolutely helpless. But to know that my child's life is in the hands of the practitioners, the staff, the doctors, the nurses, everyone, in a place like this, brings me some calm.
For me, Peace Arch Hospital has always brought me a sense of calm. I've always felt taken care of and protected by the doctors and the staff that work here.
When I first held my son, you're asking me what I felt. I cried. I was just a mess when I got to hold him for the first time. And, they put him in that incubation bed. And the most surreal experience was there was about 20 people in that room. Doctors, nurses, staff, all trying to figure out what was going on and giving us the best care possible. And, when I stepped over to the bed and I just said hi, crying as a mess, he looked at me and he held my finger. And in a room full of 20 people, he was just focused on me. That memory will stay with me forever.
Having Peace Arch as part of our community was a very important factor in moving down this way.
It's the hospital in our community where we live, where our friends live, the one we go to when we need medical attention.
I was sick a number of years ago and came into Peace Arch and received absolutely spectacular care.
He was shaking, so I just said, we're not even waiting for an ambulance. The hospital's 5 minutes away. I can get you there faster than an ambulance can even get here. So I drove him to the hospital and went in and said he needs to see somebody right now.
It was scary in a lot of ways, but I wasn't necessarily conscious during that period of time. It was more for the family. I was in and out for 4 or 5 days. While they were doing all kinds of tests and making determination as to what my illness was.
Yeah, there were several times when we were worried, but once they knew what was happening and knew how they could deal with it, that was the turning point for me.
And as a result of the care from the doctors, the nurses, and the staff, I'm still here today. Peace Arch is very close to us and in our hearts every day.
My connection to Peace Arch Hospital goes pretty far back, actually. I was born there. Before that, my grandparents were involved in the construction of the hospital back in the 50s, and my parents were involved. My mom was on the hospital board as well, and they've given over the years to the hospital. Friends, loved ones, everyone I know has been touched in some way by needing to use Peace Arch Hospital, and it has served us well from birth and death and everything in between. A little while ago, my dad went to the hospital for a routine procedure, and unfortunately he was one of the people, one in a however odds, that he very nearly died. I would like to thank Dr. Hendry for everything he did. If it weren't for him, we could have had a whole other outcome with my dad, and just glad he's okay.
A hospital means something to the community. It is a beacon of hope and calm and answers when we have questions. And every time I come here, I see expansions and upgrades and more answers for more questions that our community needs. We need so much from this facility, from these people here, the staff, that it's, of course we should give back. We need them, and this is a time that they need us. This is a time for us to step up
This is a very generous community. The public has had to fund a number of projects, and it's an unfortunate situation because most people believe that the government is funding everything. Unfortunately, the system is under stress, and sometimes there's advocacy that's necessary, and advocacy with money makes people take notice, makes Fraser Health take notice.
The doctors, the nurses of Peace Arch, in fact, I can honestly say they saved my life. And to make the donation, our business life has allowed us the benefit of doing that. So what better idea to do it than to put it back into your own community?
After my dad's experience at the hospital where he very nearly lost his life, they were so grateful and they made a charitable donation that hopefully can go towards some more life-saving equipment for everyone. At some point, we all need care. I like knowing that they have been part of something that will look after everyone.